Welcome to Whispers of Power's Chosen Souls. Here is a 250-word introduction in day-to-day English, unique, encouraging, relatable, and free of cliches and hyphens. It naturally invites viewers to watch until the end and subscribe. Have you ever noticed certain people always seem to appear in your life for the wrong reasons? They charm you, flatter you, or pull you in with a story that feels too good to be true. Then, before you know it, they drain your energy or manipulate your emotions. If this has happened to you, you are not imagining it. There is a reason narcissists are drawn to chosen ones like you. They are drawn to your strength, your awareness, and your ability to see beyond surface appearances. Chosen ones carry something rare. You notice things others overlook. You feel things deeply. You see patterns in behavior that others ignore. Your presence exposes the truth even when you do not speak. And this is what makes narcissists uncomfortable. They rely on control, deception, and confusion. But your clarity and insight make their tricks ineffective. They are attracted to you because you reflect what they cannot be. This is not meant to scare you. It is meant to remind you of your value and your power. Being aware of why they come after you is the first step to protecting yourself. When you understand the patterns, you can respond with confidence and preserve your peace. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you will learn today will help you recognize manipulation early, protect your energy, and rise above anyone who tries to dim your light. If this speaks to you, subscribe for more guidance that strengthens your spirit and sharpens your vision. Now, let's get started. Chosen ones. Number 1. Chosen ones amplify what narcissists try to hide. There is something powerful that happens when a chosen one walks into any space. You do not even have to speak. You do not have to announce yourself. Your presence alone stirs emotions you did not ask for. And this is exactly why narcissists feel uneasy around you. They spend their whole life building a false image and you tear it down without lifting a finger. Chosen ones do not try to expose anyone. You are simply aware. You listen with intention. You watch without forcing yourself into the moment. You understand people by their energy more than their words. And this silent awareness becomes a mirror that narcissists cannot escape. They are used to people who play along with their act. They are used to people who admire them without question. But you are different. You do not challenge them out loud. You challenge them by noticing what they try to hide. Imagine a moment at work. A narcissistic coworker loves being the center of attention. They talk over people. They exaggerate their achievements. Everyone smiles because it is easier to keep the peace. Then you walk in. You do not attack them. You simply observe. You ask a calm question. You make a quiet comment that reveals you are paying attention. Suddenly they feel exposed. They feel seen in a way they do not want to be seen. That discomfort is not because you did something wrong. It is because their pretend world starts cracking when real presence enters the room. Chosen ones amplify the truth. When you stand near someone who is insecure, they feel the weight of their own emptiness. When you stand near someone who is dishonest, they feel the pressure of their own lies. You do not shine because you try hard. You shine because you live with awareness, and awareness makes pretenders nervous. If you have ever wondered why certain people react strongly to you, this is the reason. They see what you do not hide, and they panic because you see what they cannot hide. Stay aware of your gift. It is the very thing that protects you in the long run. Number 2. Your emotional intelligence threatens their entire strategy. One of the main reasons narcissists come after chosen ones is simple. Your emotional intelligence ruins their entire plan. Narcissists survive through confusion. They twist stories. They switch blame. They use silence to punish you and praise to pull you back in. Their whole strategy depends on people who cannot read emotional patterns. But you are different. You walk with clarity. You notice shifts in tone. You recognize hidden motives. You understand feelings that others ignore. And this makes you a threat. Emotional intelligence is not about being soft. It is about being aware. You do not get lost in drama easily. You do not fall for sweet words when the actions do not match. You ask questions that make people uncomfortable because you want the truth. Narcissists avoid people like you because you reduce their power the moment you start paying attention. Picture this. You are talking to someone who always tries to make you feel guilty for things you did not do. They paint themselves as the victim every time you address a problem. At first you stay calm and simply listen. Then you notice something. Their story changes slightly each time they tell it. Their emotions rise only when they talk about themselves. They ignore your feelings and rush to defend their image. Most people would miss these details, but you do not. You quietly point out one small inconsistency. You ask a gentle but direct question that reveals the truth they are avoiding. Suddenly they become irritated. They raise their voice. They accuse you of overreacting. But deep inside they are panicking. They know their usual tricks are failing. They know you see them clearly. This is what emotional intelligence does. It removes the fog they depend on. It exposes the emotional games they rely on. Your clarity becomes a light that destroys their confusion. And this is why narcissists test you early. They want to know if they can twist you. But the moment they realize you see through their behavior, they lose control. Stay confident in your clarity. It is one of your greatest gifts, and it protects you more than you know. Number 3. You are difficult to control. One thing that makes chosen ones stand out is the simple fact that you are very difficult to control. You may not always see it in the beginning, but people with selfish intentions notice it the moment they meet you. They can sense that your mind does not stay trapped for long. You question things, you reflect, you grow fast, you recover faster than they expect. And this makes narcissists act quickly. They rush to break your confidence before you fully understand who you are. Narcissists depend on people who accept whatever they say. They look for people who can be shaped by guilt, fear, approval, or pressure. But chosen ones are wired differently. You might give people the benefit of the doubt. You might even stay quiet when you notice early red flags. But when something no longer feels right, your spirit speaks. Your mind wakes up. And once you see the truth, it becomes impossible for you to stay in a cage. Imagine a relationship or friendship where someone tries to set the rules for you. They tell you how to think. They try to influence how you see yourself. They want control without giving respect. At first, you may try to be patient. You may try to keep the peace. But then a moment comes when everything clicks. You notice the pattern. You realize the praise only comes when you obey them. You realize the anger only comes when you stand your ground. That moment of clarity is the moment they fear the most. Because when a chosen one wakes up, everything changes. You stop responding to manipulation. You stop explaining yourself to people who refuse to listen. You stop carrying weight that is not yours. Your silence becomes powerful. Your distance becomes healing. Your awareness becomes freedom. This is why narcissists try to get inside your mind early. They know the window closes fast. They know you cannot be controlled once you understand your value. And this truth is what protects you. You are not hard to control because you are stubborn. You are hard to control because you are meant to grow far beyond anything that tries to limit you. Number 4. Your energy feeds what they lack. One of the deepest reasons narcissists chase chosen ones is because your energy fills the empty spaces they carry inside. You have qualities they can only imitate. You have confidence that does not come from attention. You have creativity that flows without asking for permission. You have intuition that alerts you before trouble arrives. And you have compassion that comes from a sincere place. They want these things, but they do not know how to build them. So they come close to you hoping to absorb what they lack. Narcissists live through performance. They act bold, but their confidence collapses when they are alone. They act wise, but their decisions are built on fear. They act caring, but only when people are watching. When they meet someone who actually walks with real strength, they become both attracted and threatened. It is like seeing in you what they wish they were, but know they cannot maintain. Imagine being in a conversation with someone who always exaggerates their life. They brag about achievements. They talk loudly. They try to impress everyone in the room. But the moment you speak with calm confidence, the whole environment shifts. They start copying your words. They match your tone. They mirror your gestures. They even repeat ideas you shared earlier as if they discovered them. At first you may not notice it. Then it becomes clear. It is not admiration. It is hunger. They want your presence because your energy makes them feel like someone important. But here is the truth. Your energy does more than attract. It exposes. When you stand near someone who is pretending to be confident, they feel the difference between your strength and their act. When you show effortless creativity, they realize their own ideas are borrowed. When you stay kind without expecting praise, they realize they only act kind to maintain control. Chosen ones radiate what cannot be faked. That is why narcissists cling to you. They want to drain the very qualities they refuse to develop in themselves. But your energy is not a gift to waste. Once you recognize your light, you learn to protect it. And when you do, the people who only came to feed on it lose their power over you. Number 5. You question what everyone else accepts. One thing that truly separates chosen ones from the crowd is the way you think. You do not accept information just because someone said it with confidence. You do not follow a story simply because everyone else agrees with it. You listen, you observe, you connect the dots. And when something does not feel right, you start asking questions that most people are too distracted or too afraid to ask. This is exactly why narcissists feel threatened by you. Narcissists build their identity on a carefully crafted image. They depend on people who accept their version of events without any resistance. They want an audience that nods and agrees. But when a chosen one shows up, that comfort ends. You see the gaps in their story. You feel the shift in their mood. You notice when their actions do not match their words. And you start asking questions that make them uncomfortable because those questions bring the truth too close. Imagine this. A narcissistic friend is telling a dramatic story meant to make them look innocent and important at the same time. Everyone else in the group is reacting the way they want. People are shocked. People are concerned. People are believing every detail. Then you quietly ask a simple question. Something small, something logical. It could be as light as asking for clarity. Suddenly the whole room changes. They pause. Their face tightens. Their voice gets sharp. They know you saw something they hoped nobody would notice. You are not trying to expose them. You are simply following the truth. But to a narcissist, truth is a threat. Lies are their safety net. Confusion is their protection. When you question what everyone else accepts, you pull the net away. You shine a light on what they try to keep in the dark. Chosen ones do not hunt for conflict. You search for understanding. You look for meaning behind behavior, and that alone creates pressure for someone who depends on deception. They cannot relax around you because your insight brings their entire act close to the point of collapse. Never silence your ability to question. It is not troublemaking, it is clarity. And clarity is one of the strongest gifts a chosen one carries. Number 6. Your standards expose their laziness. One of the most overlooked reasons narcissists target chosen ones is because your standards expose their laziness. You live with purpose. You put effort into things. You do not rely on shortcuts or tricks to move forward in life. Meanwhile, narcissists want the rewards without the work. They want the title without the effort. They want respect without responsibility. When they meet someone who actually walks in discipline and intention, their entitlement begins to show. Chosen ones do not even try to outshine anyone. You simply do what needs to be done. You keep your word. You stay consistent. You push through challenges instead of running from them. Narcissists watch this and instantly feel threatened. Your work ethic reveals how little effort they put into anything. Your discipline reveals their excuses. Your progress reveals their stagnation. And instead of improving, they decide to drain you. Imagine this. You are working on a group project at school or at work. You come prepared. You have ideas. You have a plan. You put in real effort. A narcissistic teammate arrives late with nothing useful to offer, but somehow still wants credit for everything. They smile. They charm. They give opinions that add no value. But when the results turn out impressive, they want to stand beside you as if they carried the same weight. At first you do not mind. You let it go. But then it becomes a pattern. They start depending on your strength. They take advantage of your reliability. They rely on your focus while refusing to carry their share. And when you finally pull back or raise your standards even higher, they become irritated, not because you did anything wrong, but because you exposed their laziness without saying a word. This is why narcissists try to exhaust you before you realize your value. They drain your energy so you lose the clarity that makes you unstoppable. They want you tired because a tired chosen one forgets their power. But once you notice the pattern, everything changes. Your standards are not the problem. They are the filter. Anyone who cannot match your effort will eventually remove themselves, and that is your protection. Number 7. You can see patterns they try to hide. One of your strongest gifts as a chosen one is the ability to see patterns that most people overlook. You do not need long explanations. You do not need dramatic evidence. Your spirit picks up what someone's words are trying to cover. This makes narcissists uncomfortable because they thrive on the kind of manipulation that only works when people are slow to recognize patterns. You are not slow. You see the link between their actions and their intentions long before they realize you are watching. Discernment is not something you force. It is something that comes naturally to you. You notice when someone switches from charm to irritation too quickly. You notice when their kindness appears only when they want something. You notice how their stories never match their behavior. You notice patterns they hope you never recognize. And because you see these things early, narcissists feel the need to attack before you understand what they truly are. Imagine meeting someone who seems unbelievably warm at first. They compliment you often. They always want to be around you. They ask you personal questions right away. To the average person, this looks like bonding. But to you, something feels off. You notice that their compliments feel rehearsed. You notice how they try to bond too fast. You notice they get frustrated when you do not open up as quickly as they want. You sit back quietly and watch. And slowly the truth reveals itself. Their kindness was just bait. This ability to see the pattern behind the behavior gives you an advantage that narcissists cannot tolerate. They want confusion. They want you emotionally overwhelmed, so you cannot think clearly. They want you distracted so their tricks remain hidden. This is why they try to blur your vision early. They use love bombing. They use flattery. They use sympathy. Anything to cloud your intuition. But here is what they cannot change. Once a chosen one senses something, the feeling stays. You may not speak right away, but you observe. You collect details. You wait. Then the pattern becomes clear. When you finally understand what you are dealing with, the illusion breaks and their power disappears. Your discernment is not a burden. It is protection. And it is the very reason they fear you. Number 8. You don't respond the way they expect. One of the biggest reasons narcissists target chosen ones is because you do not respond the way they expect. They study people. They predict reactions. They count on emotional weakness. But when they try those tactics on you, nothing works the way they imagined. You do not break easily. You do not beg for attention. You do not fall apart just because someone withdraws affection or approval. Your resilience creates a kind of silent rage in them because it ruins their entire plan. Narcissists depend on emotional reactions. They want someone who cries when they pull away. They want someone who panics when they give the silent treatment. They want someone who feels guilty when they act disappointed. But you are built differently. You may feel hurt, but you do not collapse. You may feel confused, but you do not chase. You stay calm. You stay grounded. You stay aware. And this calmness is something they never prepared for. Imagine this scenario. A narcissist tries to punish you with silence after a disagreement. They expect you to call them repeatedly. They expect you to apologize just to make the tension stop. They expect you to fall into fear of losing them. Instead, you go on with your day. You take a walk. You focus on your work. You give yourself space to think. When they finally come back to test your reaction, you are not desperate. You are collected. You are still yourself. That moment shakes them. They realize they cannot control your emotions the way they control others. They realize their usual tricks fall flat with you. They realize your peace is not something they can interrupt. This is what chosen ones carry that narcissists cannot understand. You come back from things that would break most people. You find strength in places they do not even know exist. You do not worship people. You honor yourself. And that self-respect disrupts their entire system. Your ability to remain steady is not just resilience. It is protection. It exposes who they truly are while revealing who you are becoming. And once they see that they cannot bend your spirit, their power over you ends. Number 9. Your healing destroys their power. One of the strongest reasons narcissists fear chosen ones is because your healing destroys their power. You are not someone who stays down after hurt. You learn from it. You transform through it. You grow in ways that surprise even you. Pain does not break you. Pain becomes your teacher. Meanwhile, narcissists cannot handle any form of exposure. They collapse when their image is questioned. They crumble when their lies are revealed. So when they see someone who can rise after everything they tried to do, they feel threatened to their core. Chosen ones have a different way of recovering. You do not heal by pretending nothing happened. You heal by understanding yourself. You heal by facing the truth. You heal by letting time sharpen your awareness. Narcissists depend on people staying wounded because wounds make people easier to control. When you begin to heal, you begin to see clearly. And when you see clearly, their influence fades. Picture this. You were close to someone who brought confusion into your life. They used emotional pressure. They made you doubt yourself. They made you question your worth. At first, you felt lost, but slowly you started finding yourself again. You read more. You reflected more. You prayed more. You separated their voice from your own. Day by day, you returned to your strength. Then comes the moment that frightens them the most. The moment you no longer react to their behavior. The moment you stop explaining yourself. The moment their attempts to provoke you fall flat. They feel the shift. They feel you rising. And the rise of a chosen one is something a narcissist cannot control. Your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Your clarity exposes their confusion. Your peace exposes their chaos. They cannot stand the idea that the very person they tried to break is the one who grew stronger than ever. This is why your healing is dangerous to them. It takes away the grip they once had. It reveals the truth they tried to bury. It leaves them powerless. Keep healing. Keep rising. Your strength is not only your protection, it is their downfall. Number 10. You reveal their mediocrity. One of the most uncomfortable truths for narcissists is that chosen ones reveal their mediocrity. Your growth, your dedication, and your steady progress shine a light on their stagnation. They watch you evolve, learn, and rise while they remain trapped in their own patterns. This contrast terrifies them because it reminds them of who they refuse to become. Instead of reflecting, improving, or taking responsibility, they often try to destroy the person who exposes their shortcomings, and that person is usually you. Chosen ones move through life with awareness. You notice your weaknesses and work to strengthen them. You set goals and follow through. You face challenges and grow from them. Narcissists see this and feel exposed. They are aware of their own lack of discipline, their limited vision, and their unwillingness to face themselves. But instead of changing, they attempt to control you or undermine your progress. Their insecurity becomes a silent but dangerous force, and they target you because your very presence exposes what they have spent years hiding. Imagine a scenario at work or in a social circle. You consistently deliver results, handle tasks responsibly, and maintain your integrity. Meanwhile, someone who thrives on appearances brags, cuts corners, or manipulates situations for recognition. To the outside world, it may seem like your growth has nothing to do with them, but narcissists notice. They see that you are quietly moving forward while they remain stuck. The difference is obvious to them, and it threatens their self-image. Instead of changing their habits, they try to distract you, belittle your achievements, or create chaos in your life. Their attacks are a reflection of their fear, not your shortcomings. Your progress and authenticity cannot be diminished by their fear. The fact that you keep growing highlights the truth they are avoiding. They may attempt to drag you down, but you are not responsible for their choices. Your growth is your power, and it exposes mediocrity without you ever having to speak. Stay focused on yourself. Your evolution is your shield, and it is the one thing narcissists cannot steal. In final words, if you have been wondering why narcissists seem to appear in your life over and over, It is not a coincidence. They are drawn to what you carry naturally. Your awareness, your clarity, your resilience, and your authenticity threaten the illusions they rely on. They are attracted to you because you show what they cannot produce within themselves. But this is not a reason to fear. It is a reason to honor your own strength. Being a chosen one is not easy. It means seeing through people and situations that others accept without question. It means feeling deeply, thinking clearly, and holding yourself to standards that others avoid. Narcissists will try to manipulate, confuse, and even drain you. They will test your patience and your boundaries, but every time they fail to control you, it is a reminder of your power. Remember this: you are not responsible for their choices. You are only responsible for your own growth, your own peace, and your own path. Every lesson, every challenge, and every person who tried to pull you down is shaping you into someone who cannot be shaken. Your presence, your energy, and your love are gifts. Protect them, honor them, let them guide you to the right people and the right places. When you do, the ones who are meant to be in your life will rise to meet you, and the ones who are not will expose themselves naturally. Stay aware, stay strong, keep growing, and if this message resonates with you, subscribe for more guidance that sharpens your vision, strengthens your spirit, and helps you walk your path with clarity. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.